Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Mal and I'm the owner and maker of Made by MANIANDMAL. And today is day 12 of the 12 Days of Christmas video series here on my channel. I hope that you have enjoyed watching all of these videos as much as I've enjoyed making them. This was so much fun to do and I am already thinking about the next little series that I can do sometime next year. I will admit I'm a little bit sad to not be seeing you guys every day, but don't worry, the train is not stopping here. I'm gonna go right back to my regular upload schedule, which is every single Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I will be taking a little bit of a break at the end of the year, but it's just a couple videos, just so I can get ready for all of the great things coming in 2022. I'm really excited for next year, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of that awesome stuff. In today's tutorial, we're going to be doing kind of like a reverse peekaboo ombre situation, and I went with a neutral gingerbread theme. Yesterday's tutorial was very festive red and green Christmas, and so today I wanted to still keep it really festive and fun, but tone down the colors a little bit and just really run with gingerbread. So I hope that you enjoy it. If you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comments. All the products I'm using are linked down below in the description box, as well as links to all of our social media pages, our Facebook group, our Patreon group, and you know I've got some discount codes down there for you as well. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go! We're starting with a fully prepped 20-ounce skinny straight from Craft Haven, and I'm going to go over kind of what the plan is for this video. So I've got 2 colors of glitter and 2 matching spray paint colors, and what we're going to do is a reverse peekaboo ombre. So I'm going to do golden brown. For the gold glitter, I'm going to use Athena and Goddess from Peachy Olive Glitters, and then for the brown, I'm going to use Footloose, and it wouldn't be a gingerbread cup if I didn't use gingerbread. Both of those colors are from PDB, and everything is linked down below in the description box as well. So what you want to decide first is where your glitter is going to go. So I decided that I wanted to put the gold glitter on the bottom and then the brown on the top. Because this is a reverse peekaboo, I want the brown spray paint to be on the bottom of the cup when we end. So that means I want my gold glitter on the bottom. Hopefully this is all making sense. So I base painted my cup to match my glitter, so the gold is on the bottom right now. And once that dries, I'm going to go in with a very thin coat of epoxy so that we can apply the glitter using the epoxy method, obviously. And I'm starting with Athena, which is our chunky gold, and I'm going to cover the entire bottom of the cup. The bottom is not necessary, like the actual bottom, unless you want to put a little peekaboo down there. I did, so I glittered it. You don't have to if you don't want to. So then I'm going to kind of fade this up the cup like we're building an ombre. We are going to ombre these colors, but it's not going to be like a full traditional, really nicely blended ombre because it doesn't really matter in the end. So don't worry about building the perfect fade here. You can kind of just do like a shortcut version. So I went in next with Footloose, which is our chunky brown. And you can see I'm doing the steps of an ombre here, and I'm just going to kind of go quickly. I'm not really going back and forth too much, building the fade like I normally would. I just went in with the chunkies and then the fines, and that was pretty much it. Usually I would go back and forth a few times to really build that blend, but in the end it doesn't really matter. So just do your best. Whatever you can do is going to work out, I promise. Once the glitter layer dries, I'm going to roll my cup up in parchment paper to make sure that all of my glitter is laying flat. This is really helpful in any cup design, but especially with a peekaboo because you want everything to be as smooth as possible and you don't want to do a million coats of epoxy to get there. And I personally hate sanding, so anything I can do to avoid sanding, I'm going to do. So I'm going to roll this up a couple times, tap off any excess, and then I'm ready to add my first coat of epoxy. This first coat was 30 milliliters, and I didn't really care about contaminating glitter. I didn't care about it moving around the cup. It doesn't matter, so you don't need to spray seal this or anything. Just go right in with your epoxy. So I'm going to spread this all over the cup, let it cure 6 to 8 hours, and then go right in with a second coat. Remember, a little extra ink epoxy loves heat, so don't be afraid to torch away all of those bubbles. Once my second coat is all cured, I'm going to go in and do all my sanding. I'm really going to focus a lot of my sanding on that upper rim because that's usually where my cup is the roughest after I apply glitter and epoxy. So once that's all sanded and washed with dish soap and water, I'm ready to go in and add all of my little gingerbread stencils. I got this in a file pack on Etsy and I just cut out a bunch. This is the same gingerbread man. I just cut him out in a bunch of different sizes. I ended up not using the smallest size that I cut out. I used these 2 large ones and then I used all of the mid-size ones. And there's no pattern to how I'm applying these. I'm just putting them randomly all over the cup and just filling up the cup the best I can. One little tip is if you missed any spots in your sanding, like if you have a little rough area or a little bump on your cup, put a stencil there, because when you paint over it, you're going to remove that stencil, and then when you epoxy over that bump later, you won't be able to tell. You won't see a bump like underneath your spray paint. So that's a good little tip if you just missed one little spot and you don't want to go back and smooth it out, or if it didn't get smooth. That's what I always do, and you can never tell. Once I've got all of my stencils placed, I'm going to do my spray paint ombre. So now we're going to do the reverse of the colors that we placed down on the glitter. So since our gold glitter's at the bottom, I painted my brown paint at the bottom, and then I did the gold paint at the top. While my paint is still wet, I'm going to go in with some acrylic paint and a rough little brush and do some little paint splatter, just little kind of dots all over this. I wanted to give this a little bit more texture and just do something a little bit different to add some depth. And so I'm using this natural beige paint, and then I'm also going to use white, and I'm just going in really randomly here. You can see I started out using this brush, and then I moved to a similar brush that had a round head on it. Both of them worked fine. It's just personal preference, really. And if you get any spots like this that really are just like a big clump of paint, what I like to do is take off as much of that paint as possible. You can see here I'm just kind of rubbing and buffing it out, and then I go right back outside and just spray paint over it. So this is why I do it when my spray paint is wet, because sometimes you have to go in and layer it up a little bit more, and then you can just let it all dry at once. So once I've got all of my little paint splatters done, I let this dry about an hour, and now I'm ready to go in and do my peely peely. I'm using the same tweezers I use all the time. These are the best. They're from Amazon. They're really inexpensive. I highly, highly recommend them. They are linked in my Amazon favorites in the description box. So I'm just going to go through and carefully peel all of these up. I know that this is kind of hard to see. The gingerbread men don't really stand out too well before they're under epoxy, but when they're under epoxy, that glitter will shine right back up and you'll be able to see them a little bit better. After I've got my guys all peeled, I'm going to go in with another coat of epoxy. This one is about 30 milliliters, between 20 and 30, and I let my epoxy sit a while so it's a little bit thicker. It's been really cold here, so by really cold I mean like 50 degrees. Anyway, I am torching my cup now, and I let it spin about 10 minutes before I went in and added a little bit of extra glitter to my cup. You guys know I love to do this. I'm taking Broken Dreams from PDB, and I'm just lightly sprinkling it all over the cup to fill in a little bit of that just spray paint space that we have. And then I went in with a fresh glove and just picked off any that had covered up the gingerbread too much or where it migrated a little bit. Just cleaned up those areas around the gingerbread men. And I'm going to just let this spin the full 12 hours and then go in with my final coat. So that's it for this tutorial, and that's it for the 12 Days of Christmas video series for 2021. This has been so much fun to put together a brand new video and a brand new idea for you every single day. So I really hope that you have enjoyed this last 12 days just as much as I have. Here's the final result for this tutorial. I really love how this little cup turned out, and I also made another one just with a different color scheme, kind of a different theme. This one just has more kind of random Christmas things on it. I wanted to play around with a few more colorways, and now looking at it, I kind of wish I would have done brown and white for the gingerbread men, but oh well, I guess that just means I have to make another one. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Okay. Love you. Bye.
I did it. Singing is not my thing. I should never sing again. Yeah, no, I'm never singing again.